And welcome you all for the third session. English is a life skill is needed in every sphere of life today. Today we have with us Miss Rizwana. I request Miss Carol to introduce Mrs. Rizwana.
A pleasant good morning and a warm welcome to one and all present here. It's my privilege to introduce the speaker for today's session, Mrs. Rizwana, lecturer in English, Yenepoya deemed to be University. She has pursued her MA in English from St. Agnes College. She has been working as an English lecturer in almost all constituent colleges of Yenepoya deemed to be University for 2 years. She has also served in various other institutions in Mangalore and has also been a spoken English trainer for the teachers in Peace Public School. Today, she'll be addressing the students on the topic Role of English Language in the Present Scenario. We welcome you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for being present here today. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, my dear students. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all on being admitted to Yenepoya University. It's my privilege to have an opportunity to converse with all the freshers, and I take immense pleasure in welcoming each one of you to this prestigious institution. Welcome, my dear students. Oh, I'm going to talk about the topic, the role of English language in the present scenario, and various ways to improve your English. English is like sky, very deep and high. The reason I have included this slide is for you to understand the magnitude of English, like how high or how deep English is. English is the indispensable part of our life. In the present scenario, English is a widely spoken language. It's referred to as global language, the multilingua franca of the modern era. It's referred to as a global language because it's spoken all over the world. Lingua franca means it's the language which is spoken by people whose mother tongues are totally different. It's a language most often taught as a second language around the world. So in India, we use English as the second language. Of course, first language is our own mother tongue. Not only in India, but also abroad in all the other countries, English is considered as the second language. In India, English is used in the process of communication with outside world. It is also used for interstate and intrastate communication. So in India, we use English to communicate with foreigners and also to communicate with ourselves. So English is also treated as an official language not only in India but in all the other states of the world. Yes. Why learn English? What do you learn English for? Most powerful means of expression. So English is one of the most powerful, effective instrument of expression. It's a language which is rich, subtle, and capable of expressing even the minute shades of our thoughts. So English is so rich that you can express even your minute of the thoughts through this language. There's no other language in the world which has a richer vocabulary than English. English has taken up words from almost all the major languages of the world. So we can find an amalgamation in the vocabulary of English. It is said that every year 10,000 new words are added to the English dictionary. Hence, it throbs with new life. So there is no other language in the world which incorporates more than 10,000 words into its dictionary. Hence, we can see that English rejuvenates with new life every year. It is the only language that's recognized and understood by people in many parts of the world. It is estimated that the number of native English speakers is 300 to 450 million. That's a huge number, right? So, English is the only language which is spoken and written all over the world. So, you can see how important English is. An international currency of speech. Uh, yeah, it's a language of all political conferences, economic treaties, and scientific discourses. So we cannot think about any international conferences or meetings
Excuse me,
without
ma'am.
English.
Excuse me,
Yes,
ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you. Could you
yes.
please put your presentation, ma'am, from your end?
Hello?
Hello. Could you
Yes,
please put your presentation from your end, ma'am, in the Google Meet?
I didn't get you, sorry.
Ma'am, can you please pin your presentation?
Your slide.
Can you see the slide?
No, ma'am, your slide is not visible.
To the students, actually,
Okay, okay.
they are watching through YouTube. So in Google Meet, we request
Okay,
you to
I thought,
pin your presentation, ma'am.
okay, okay. I thought it's visible. Okay, sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is it visible now?
Ma'am, in Google Meet it is visible, but in YouTube it's not getting visible. So pinning of your screen is required, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, in Google Meet, can you please hover over the presentation screen? You get three icons there. The first one is the pin, mic off, and the deny. So the first option, that is pin the screen, is requested to you to on it, ma'am.
Okay, okay. In YouTube, it's not visible. sharing. In the screen. In the screen.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, I didn't get any
Yeah,
option here.
yeah, Rizwana, ma'am, you can continue, ma'am. No, no issues. It's fine. The earlier way, as you were doing, you can continue the same way.
So is it visible for them? No, right?
We'll let you know in few seconds, ma'am. As it is YouTube, it will get delayed in 10 seconds. So you present your screen,
Okay.
ma'am. Now,
Present your screen.
yeah, you can present your screen.
Okay, okay.
We will get it pinned here.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. It's not visible in YouTube. Then how they wouldn't? It will take 10 seconds. I think. I don't know. Yeah, I was in this.
It's
Sorry
visible,
for the
ma'am.
interruption. Yeah. It's a language of all political conferences, economic treaties, and scientific discourses. So we can't think about any international meetings or organization without English. It's a key to scientific knowledge and advanced learning. Any technology along with instructions are in English. So pick up any technology, pick up your mobile, your gadgets, or your laptops. Okay, all the instructions are in English. Even when you want to browse Google, English is very important because most of the websites are in English. Hence, you must know English. It's a language of medicines as well. English is by far the most used language in international medical meetings. It is the main medium for medical textbooks, journals, and abstracting indexes. So, all the medical textbooks use only English as their language. Why do they use English here? What's the reason behind it? You can already guess it because everyone knows English and everyone can understand English. It's an easy language. Take, for instance, your own national language, that's Hindi. Even Hindi is rich in its vocabulary, but still, there are so many scientific words which are still struggling for the coinage to replace English words. English has steadily replaced other languages in research literature and has become the lingua franca of the international science community. So even for the research purpose, English is must because all the instructions in are in English. It's a language of web, books, press, and news reports. Language newspapers and magazines can be bought from any part of the world. Go to any part of the world like America or China or Japan, Canada. Go to any part of the world. When you want some information, which newspaper will you pick up? Obviously, it's English. Then news report. There are some international television networks like CNN, BBC, NBC. Okay, all these networks broadcast news so fast across the world in a second, and you can sit and watch them from any corner of the world only when you know English. That's the greatest advantage of knowing English. Then we have books on any subject from all over the world, which has been written in English or which have been translated from other languages to English. Whatever you are interested in, you can read it in English. So you have an easy access to it, right? You think about a book, you can open it in internet in PDF form, and you can read it from anywhere around the world. Interactive and connective language. So it connects with people from any corner of the world. So you have your friends, you have your relatives abroad, you can connect with them if you know English or through English. Communicate your feelings. You can communicate your feelings and ideas and even your opinions in English. Discuss and chat with them in English. Then email. For emailing, English is very important because especially for your official emails, okay, you need access to English, and without this language, you can't email. It helps to be a world-class businessman. Okay, so this interactive language helps you to be a world-class businessman too. Okay? If you're opting yourself to be a businessman, then English is must because you will come across different businessmen. You'll have to go abroad, or you have to attend conferences, or you may have to read international business newspapers and magazines. So all these are in English. Hence, English is important for you. It gives wings to your career. So one of the most important thing which will happen in your life when you know English is it gives wings to your career. If you have an excellent knowledge of English, you put it there in your CV, in your resume, or in your biodata, and what happens is that you get your dream job and you earn more money. Yes. So when you have excellent knowledge of English, you can mention that even in your resume, okay, or your CV. Then what happens is that you can face your interviews boldly, and then in return you get your dream job and you can even earn money. Multinational organizations always recruit candidates with excellent communication skills and provide them good platform for the same. So we have some reputed multinational companies who recruit their candidates only after scrutinizing their candidates' English. Okay. Remember one thing: English and communication skills are interrelated. Only if your official language is good, your communication skills will be good. Okay, so only once these skills are tested, you will be provided with a job from these companies. Many big companies will hire professional staffs only after getting to know whether they have good English or not. Okay, so even when you want to work in big companies, they will scrutinize you from all the levels. Like there are 4 skills of communication which you should be an expert at, like LSRW. Okay, L for listening, S for speaking, and R for reading, and W for writing. So all these skills will be tested. You will be given a written test, and you may also be asked to join the debate or to communicate to test all these skills, and then only you will be given a job. And one more important thing, think for example you don't want to work, okay, maybe you have got your father's property, okay, even in that sense English is important because when you have wealth, uh, of course you feel like enjoying it, like you feel like traveling around the world. Okay, we are human beings, we can't sit at home and keep chatting with our families. Sometimes we'll have to go out, we'll have to go abroad and meet people and communicate with them. So when you go abroad, what happens is that you won't be knowing their language, or they won't be knowing your language. So in such cases English is important. Okay, like you may have to ask for directions, or you may have to converse with people, or for booking hotels, or giving orders, or giving orders for your lunch or dinner. For all these things you need English. All this can be done in English when you have this one language. Okay, because there are more than 100 countries who communicate only in English. Yes, it's a language of education. So this is more relevant to you because you are students. Students who study abroad should be efficient in spoken English. If the students are proficient in interactive skills, they would have confidence to face the most of the challenging situations and interviews. Of course, you need English to study abroad. Not only to study abroad, even to study in India, you need English because almost all your subjects are in English, right? You have to study in English, you have to answer them in English, and perhaps even you will have your practicals in English. That's why English is necessary here. English is very much essential to many aspirants in India and other Western countries who want to pursue higher education in other universities of the world for research purpose or any other scientific and technical operations. So all your scientific and technical operations, including research, all the instructions are in English. Hence, you need English here. It's the language of Hollywood. Yes, knowing English opens up thousands of movies, TV shows, and games for your enjoyment. And if you want to work in the entertainment industry, English is even more essential. Okay, even if you want to get yourself entertained, English is important because your Hollywood movies are in English, right? Of course, they'll be in English. Then there are games. Okay, even when you want to play games, you need English because the instructions are in English. And even when you want to enter the entertainment industry, you need English because once you enter that field, you will be a celebrity, right? So as a celebrity, your fans will obviously expect you to speak in English. It denotes a certain social status. Yes, this is the very important thing which you will get. You will get a lot of respect from people. Okay, so when you know English, you will get social respect and social status when you know English. When you are speaking fluent English, you have a social status. You achieve success. English and communication skills, sorry, English and success are synonymous to each other. Countries like China have fast forwarded their development just because of English. Like when you know English or when you speak excellent English, people will admire you, or you will have a lot of fans, or people want to imitate you, they want to imitate your accent or your style and everything. So this is the greatest advantage of knowing English. Yes. Now that you have known the advantages of knowing English, there are various tips for you to improve your English. Okay. So let's see what's that. First one is practice. Practice makes a man perfect. So this is a proverb which I strongly believe in because through practice, you not only be perfect in English but in all your other fields. Okay, so practice is important. Keep practicing English. So in your childhood, if you lacked an exposure to English, then you can still make up for it through your practice. So do that. Okay, put a lot of hard work. Even working hard is very important. So even when you want to plant a seed in the soil, you water it every day. It's not going to come out when you want it to. It will take its own time to grow. It will happen when it has to happen. So your job is to just put in the efforts. I can't prescribe you the tablet saying, take one tablet in the morning and take the other one in the evening, and after 1 week or 2 weeks, your English will be improved. No, I can't do that because such tablets won't exist at all. So all you need to do is working hard. Yeah, there are 4 skills of communication, LSRW. So you need to master all these skills to be an expert in English. So L for listening, reading, writing, and speaking. All these skills should be mastered at. Your first one comes listening. Listen English every day. So what do you have to listen actually? You have to listen to English audio clips or video clips, or you'll have to listen to some English native speakers, some good speakers to improve your English. Listening comes with concentration. Yes. Take for instance, when you're listening to me right now, like if you were to hear your favorite song, your attention would go to that favorite song. Whereas in the exam hall, if you were to listen to the same song, your attention wouldn't go to that song. Why? Because of your concentration. So during your exams, your concentration will be fully over your exams. Your mind will be fully engrossed with your papers and answer scripts. Right? This is how you can concentrate. So even to learn English, you need concentration. So listening should be done with concentration. So remember one thing, there is a difference between hearing and listening. Just hearing is not enough. Hearing means you can hear some sounds, but nothing goes inside. Whereas listening means you will do it along with grasping. Okay, that's what is important. If we can't speak English, that means we are living only half a life. Everyone must be able to speak correct English. Okay, if you are not speaking correct English, or if you are not speaking good English, it means that you are living only half a life. Okay, you are not living your life fully. English is that important. Okay. Speaking. Let's speak English. So, whenever and wherever possible, try to speak in English. Not trying to speak in English, speak in English. Okay, you can speak with your friends. You have plenty of friends. You can talk to them in English. You can even talk to your professors in English, or you can talk to your neighbors, or even when you go out or meet people, especially when you don't know their language or when they don't know your language, you can speak to them in English. Okay, do that. It's okay if you make mistakes. That's okay, because of course people might make fun of you. That's okay. How long they'll make fun of you? Only until you be perfect in English, isn't it? So only until you succeed. Once you are successful, they can't make fun of you. Okay, so if you're going to be perfect because of your mistake, or if you're going to be successful in your life because of the insults of the people, then you can um, bear that insult. Okay, so nothing to worry about. And one more important thing is speak at least 10 hours out of 24. Okay, but my advice to you is um, that you utilize all your 24 hours for English. Okay, so you might think what this ma'am is saying. She's asking us to utilize 24 hours for English. We have to sleep. We sleep 8 hours a day, or we sleep 10 hours, perhaps even 12 hours, right? But when I'm asking you to utilize these hours, I'm not asking you to keep yourself awake and practice English. Not that, okay? All you need to do is start dreaming in English. When you get dreams, usually, when you get dreams, so usually when you constantly think about something, you get even dreams about that. So when you constantly think about English, or you speak in English, or when you constantly work hard towards it, you may even get dreams in English. That's what you must do. Okay. Start thinking in English. Yes. So usually we start in our own mother tongue. I mean, we think in only in our mother tongue. Okay, but you need to change the way of your thinking to English. So start thinking in English. Okay, start making your mind program to English. Nobody forgets their mother tongue by learning English. So let your brain give directions to your body in English. Okay, when the brain itself gives signals to your body in English, then everything else you do will be in English. Okay. And one more thing is, you won't forget your mother tongue if you study English. Okay. Reading. Reading is what sometimes most of us don't like, isn't it? But as students, you are compelled to do so because you have your exams, right? But reading must be done, students. Vocabulary has to be improved. Okay. How many of you read for pleasure? That is important. You read for your exams, but do you read really for pleasure? That is important, because vocabulary has to be improved through your reading and practicing. Okay, this has to be done. Your dictionaries or your grammar books are not the ultimate solution. They don't give you ultimate. These are not the ultimate source. Okay, the thing I'm saying is, I'm not saying that dictionaries are not good. It is good, of course. You get some high-fied words. Okay, but whenever I evaluate papers, I come across some answer scripts where the students will have used some high-fied words, but they don't actually know the meaning of that word. That should be done. Okay, so you should be knowing where to insert that word in your sentence, while framing the sentence, where to insert them in your sentence. That should be understood, and this will be improved, and this skill will be improved only through reading and practicing. Okay, and reading should be done. I'm going to give you one example which I've seen many people using. Okay, like I have seen people introducing themselves with myself, saying myself so and so, myself Reena, or myself Meena, or Sheena, whatever. Okay, but that's wrong. You can't introduce yourself, myself, so and so. Like, for example, if you're called for an interview and asked to introduce yourself and you say myself, so and so, then you're gone. You're rejected because that sentence itself is wrong. So when you have to introduce yourself, say I am so and so. Okay, that's the correct sentence. Um, in a day, spend at least some time to improve your English. Change is possible by self efforts. Nobody can change you except yourself. Of course, I can suggest you, or I can even teach you, if I'm allowed, some grammatical rules and regulations. Okay, but I can't improve you. I can't change you. That should come within yourself. You should change your mind. You should change yourself. Okay, that's what is important. Um, find a mistake when somebody makes it. So you should be able to find out the mistake when somebody makes it in English. Okay, that's where you really improve in English. When I spoke about mistake, I remembered one thing, like a small child. Okay, it just listens for one whole year. A small baby, it keeps on listening for 1 year. Okay, then the next year it starts speaking slowly with mistakes. Okay, as it grows, it becomes perfect in its mother tongue. The same applies to us here. So even you can be perfect by listening and practicing. Okay, but like a small baby, or but like a child, we don't have enough time here because we are adult learners. Yes, so since you guys are adult learners, you won't have 1 year for listening, 1 year for reading, and one year for writing. So you need to do all these skills. All these skills should be practiced simultaneously. Okay, so LSRW should be done simultaneously in order to improve your skills in English. Yes, writing. This is a simple thing. You can buy one diary and start writing your life history. Okay, and there is one more thing which I'm going to give, which example I'm going to give you from your day-to-day life. Like usually you post some pictures in Instagram, right? So henceforth you post it along with some captions which is written in your own words. Okay, uh, people may make fun of you because of your mistakes, or you might also commit some grammatical errors, but that's okay. It's a part of the process. Confidence. Speak English with confidence. Yes, without English your confidence level will be very low. Speak to the person who knows English. Okay, if you don't know English, or if your English is poor, you won't be confident enough to speak to people. Okay, so even while you face your interviews, you won't be confident because you feel that your English is poor. You can't speak to them properly. Okay, not only it does affect your interview skills, it also affects your personal life. You won't feel like talking to the people whose English is good because you feel embarrassed. You feel embarrassed to talk to them because you feel that your English is poor and what that person might think about you. That shouldn't be done. Have faith in yourself. Never underestimate yourself. Okay, you should always have faith in yourself. Don't ever say that I'm not good enough or that person is better than me. Okay, that shouldn't be done because with practice and with your strivings you can be a hero. Okay, from zero. Immersion. What's this immersion? Yes, when you want to accelerate your communication skills, follow immersion. It means immerse yourself completely into that material. Okay, so when you want to improve your communication skills, you need to follow immersion. Okay, you have to immerse yourself completely in LSRW. Immerse yourself completely in your communication skills, English communication skills. Okay, you didn't get that point. I'm going to tell you one story. Okay, an old story goes where the disciple of Socrates once went up to him and asked, "Sir, could you please teach me the secret of success?" Okay, so Socrates was taking bath right in the middle of the river that fine morning. So he finds the timing of the question very awkward because he was in the middle of the river where the water was so deep. Okay, so what he thinks is he thinks of teaching his disciple not by lecturing him, but by giving him some practical experience of that thing. Okay, he calls his disciple inside the water. So this young man, who he goes inside the water and he reaches where there was Socrates. What Socrates does is he puts his arm around the shoulder of this young man and he plunges his head down inside the water. Okay, so all that he could hear was some kind of kicking and noise, some kind of resisting and striving for life. Okay, after a couple of seconds of his fight, he manages to come out of the water gasping for air. Okay, at that very moment, this young man asks, "What is this, sir? I asked you the secret of success, but what's this about?" Okay, so Socrates says, "Young man, you were inside the water. Tell me one thing, how desperately you wanted to come outside the water and breathe again." So this young man says, "Of course, I was so desperate because it was a matter of my life and death. And in fact, I would do anything to achieve that." Would you? Would you do anything to achieve your goal? That's where you have the secret of success. Okay, so when you want to achieve something so badly, you should be able to, I mean, you will be able to immerse your entire being into travel from your native places to your hostels, or from your hostels to native place. So in that case, don't waste your time while traveling. Don't kill your time. You can still utilize that time for watching English audio clips or video clips to improve your English as much as possible. Whenever you get an opportunity, speak English. So whenever you get an opportunity to speak in English, try to grab that opportunity to speak. Okay, and that should be done. And my dear students, if you do all these things, if you follow all these instructions, I guarantee you that you will be perfect in English by the time you step out of this institution for your job, for your future career, or for your higher education. Yes, do that. And I welcome you all once again to this institution. Uh, yeah, do you all have any queries? Is there any query or question?
Hello, ma'am. There are no
Yes.
queries. Yeah, because students are joining through YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
So thank you. Have a nice day.
Ma'am, just a second.
Yes.
The way to develop the best that is in a person is by appreciation and encouragement. It's my immense pleasure to propose the word of thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank Mrs. Rizwana for this wonderful session. Thank you, ma'am. It's
Yeah.
definitely going to be useful to our students. Last but not the least, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being present here and for participating in this session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let go of yesterday and let today be the new beginning and be the best that you can. Now I call upon Ms. Bhavya Shri to introduce the speaker who will be sharing her view about destined to reign the life.
Good morning, everybody. To begin with, I heartily welcome you all for today's session. I would like to introduce our today's resource person, Ms. Calida Royce de Souza, Coordinator and Faculty of English, Yenepoya University. She has pursued her Masters in English and BA from St. Aloysius College, Mangalore, and also received Proficiency Certificate in Presentation Mastery from Toastmaster International. Her interests are public speaking, writing prose and poetry, singing, and much more. Today, she is with us to give a fresh insight on Destined to Reign in Life. I welcome you, ma'am. Once again, I welcome you all for today's session.
Good morning to all of you present here. In this world where there is chaos, confusion, distress, people have lost hope in everything, I'm here to inspire you by this talk destined to reign in life. It may seem so awkward during this time to tell how will I reign in life during a crisis like this. A saying says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So, my dear friends, get ready to know how to reign in life. Ponder over this quote. The greatest manager in the world is not the manager of the World Bank, but manager of the mind bank. What it tries to say is that when you are in control of what you're thinking, you are much more stronger and capable than the manager of the World Bank. The World Bank manager might have all the power and all the wealth in the world, but he's still weak if he has a weak mind. But if you are strong, if you're determined, you're courageous, then you are greater than the manager of the World Bank. So, my dear students, always focus on the right thing, believe in yourself, and be the best manager of your mind bank. Only then you can reign in life. These are a few things which will help you to improve your personality and your well-being. Number one, always speak positive. It is very easy to go on being self-pity, nagging about yourself and think nothing is going to work for me. My dear friends, please be very careful with the thoughts that you think, because what you speak has creative power. What you say, you become. Let me give you an illustration. There was once this person who, when he met his friend asked him, "My dear friend, how are you doing?" He said to him, "Well, my dear brother, I'm growing old, bald, and dumb, and I'm growing very weak." After a few years, when this friend met him again, he saw him as bald, weak, and dumb. So it's very vital that you speak the right words. Now you might wonder, why is Madam put hit the delete button? Let me give you an illustration. Our mind is like a computer. Whatever we store comes out as an output. Now, most of you are using your desktop or your laptop. Now, whatever you type, it comes on the screen as an output. Now, say there is a file which you don't require. What you do is you hit the delete button, right? Similarly, when there are negative thoughts which bombard your mind and you think, how is it that I am going to face life? How is it that things are not going my way? So how is it that I'm going to succeed? All these negative thoughts, when it comes, you need to hit the delete button in your mind and move on. And whenever we find that there is a corrupted file or there's a virus in the computer, we use the antivirus. Now, the antivirus for our minds detox is to reprogram your mind with positive thoughts. I remember I had a student who failed in her internal exam. She was so devastated that she wanted to give up and stop her studies. But then she knew that she was called to be an electronics engineer. But she said, "Ma'am, I can't. It's impossible for me. I have failed and I don't think I can succeed." I told her the same thing, what I'm telling you. I said, replace that "I can't" with "I can" and delete all the negative aspects and try again in the next exam. She said, "Okay, I'll try, but I'm not sure." Just a week before the exam, she told me that these negative thoughts kept telling her that I'll not be able to succeed, I will not pass in the exam. I told her, as you are working out those problems of your electronics paper, also keep writing that "I can, I will get full marks this time." And what happened is, after a week, she wrote her exam and she came to me and she said she got full marks. And she was very happy, and her teacher also appreciated. So, my dear students, what I'm trying to tell you is always speak positive and you will succeed. The moment you think in your mind that "I can't do it," that's it. No matter how much you work hard, how much you break your head and you try to study or do any of the things that you want to do, you will not succeed because of the way you're thinking. So that is why I'm saying that your words have creative power. So speak positive and live your life to the fullest. Let me give you a story about an eagle and a chicken. Now, when you look at an eagle, you see that the eagle flies way up in the sky. It glides, it doesn't flap its wings, whereas a chicken can only fly to a certain extent. It cannot go way up in the sky like an eagle. Now, once upon a time, what happened was this: there was an eagle's egg which fell in a chicken's nest. This eaglet also started growing with the other chicks, and it thought that it is also a chicken instead of an eagle. So this went on. So what happened? This eaglet, though it was looking like an eagle, it was acting like a chicken because of the chicks around it. And it is to eat like a chicken, sleep like a chicken, move around like a chicken, peck grains like a chicken. Okay. And then one day it sees an eagle flying way up in the sky, and it says, "Oh my God, look at it, the way it flies. I also look like that eagle." And the other chicks tries to tell him, "See, you don't try to fly. You're just going to die. So please don't try to fly." The other chicks try to put him down, but he goes on thinking and says, "Why not? If that eagle can fly, and even if I have wings like that eagle, I should try." So it lets go of all the chickens who are trying to stop it, and it goes on a stone in the farm, and it tries to flap its wings and fly. All the chicks start laughing at him, but he had determined his mind now that I am an eagle and I have to be an eagle. I cannot be and live like a chicken. So it determines and it flies and it glides. Okay. So then it realizes that it is an eagle and not a chicken. So, my dear friends, what I'm trying to tell you is that have a mindset of an eagle. The eagle always thinks big. It just glides on the horizon. So you might see the crows which tries to fly like an eagle, but it never reaches there. The eagle is least bothered about the things happening around it. It doesn't care what the other people think. It knows that it can fly high. It knows it can soar. It knows it can reach its destiny. So always have the mindset of an eagle. Let me tell you one thing: change is inevitable, but the change is good for you. See, whenever you see an eagle, you see it always is strong, but there is a breaking period where the eagle has to undergo certain changes. So once what happens is that whenever an eaglet is very small, the mother eagle, what it does is when it comes of age for the eagle to learn to fly, usually the eagles makes its nest on high cliffs or high mountains. It throws the eaglet from the top of that mountain and teaches it to fly. Do you think the eaglet is happy? Definitely not. But then it does that again and again till that little eagle learns to fly. So, similarly, take one step of faith, each little step, and you will also have a mindset of an eagle. So, my dear students, I would like to encourage you that always have a mindset of an eagle and don't be a chicken. What I'm trying to say is there will be people who will try to nag you, who will try to put you down and say all the reasons why it cannot happen. But you step aside and say, "No, thanks, but no thanks. I know what I'm doing and I'll be my best. And I know that I will reach my destiny." Your words play an important role in your life. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. My dear students, be extremely careful with the words that you utter. I've seen a lot of students who talk rubbish, who talk things which don't make sense, And later they realize when their friends are successful and they are not, they go complaining. I also studied like him only, but I didn't get more marks, or he is more successful than me. It is because of the way you're speaking. There was a research done to show whether the words that you utter have an impact over your life. Few years back, there was a study done on certain patients who complained of knee pain. Now there were about 100 patients. So for the 50 patients, the scientists told them that you don't need a knee replacement surgery. Only with medicine and with your positive attitude, you will be able to walk well. For the other 50 patients, they didn't say anything and they had to undergo the knee replacement surgery. After a period of 3 months, what the scientists found out is that those who didn't undergo knee replacement surgery didn't complain of pain, and they were much more stronger and they were able to walk better than those who underwent the knee replacement surgery and still complained of pain. So, there you see that it is a live example as to how the words that you speak will have an impact over your life. Health and speech process is connected. See, whenever you get angry or you get really frustrated or you're so mad, there are toxins which are released in the body, and that is when you start feeling sick, you get weak. So the whole speech process that you are uttering affects your health both physically and mentally. So it's vital that you speak positive words. Yes, I know it's very common for you to get angry or get irritated. It's all right. But at the end of the day, just forget it and always believe the right way and you will live right. These are certain etiquettes that you should learn. Say things politely and do not speak harshly. Okay, what we do is, now I know most of you are at home and you will talk to your parents very rude. Say you want something urgent, you just shout at them. Don't do that. You need to be very polite in the words that you speak. Let me give you an illustration. Once there was this little girl who was very rude. One day she comes home and she says to her mother, "Mom, my day was very bad and I'm not happy to go to school." The mother asks this little girl, "Why? What happened?" "Well, I was talking in the class and the teacher shouted at me, but I didn't say sorry to her because I didn't think that, I did the wrong thing." The mother got offended and she said, "Well, you did the wrong thing and I'm not happy with you. Anyway, freshen up and have your tea." And now the mother started thinking, well, I need to teach my daughter a lesson. So the next day, when she comes back from home, she says to the daughter, "Well, I have a surprise for you." And the daughter is very excited. This little girl is very excited. And she asks the mother, "Mother, what is it?" And the mother says, "Well, I bought a parrot for you. And remember, it's not an ordinary parrot, it can also speak." And this girl is so happy and she goes out to play and she calls her friends and she says, "You know what, today my mom got me a parrot which talks." So the friends are also very happy and they come home and they look at the parrot and they try to talk to the parrot, but the parrot doesn't speak. This girl gets offended and she says, "Oh my God, why is it not talking? Please talk." It tells her the parrot doesn't listen. And then her friends complain and say, "Well, the parrot is as rude as this young girl." This girl feels very bad. And she tells to the parrot, "Well, why did you offend me in front of my friends? Why didn't you speak?" So the parrot tells, "Well, I will only speak when I want to speak." That time, this little girl realizes her mistake and she tells her mother, "Mom, I'm very sorry for being rude and I won't be rude again." So, my dear friends, it's a story which is usually told to the high school kids or to the primary school. But here is an important lesson that you should learn. that sometimes even animals can teach you to be polite. And when you are polite, you get your things done easily. But if you speak harsh, what happens is even your relationship is broken, and you don't want that. So these are the golden words of English. And these are the things that you need to use if you want to be known as a good person or as a gentleman. Okay? If you are to be known as a respectful person in the society, then make sure that you use these four golden words of English. Always say thank you, I'm sorry, please excuse me. These are the basic etiquette that you should learn. Only then people will admire you and respect you for who you are. Feeding good habits. Well, we all of us have developed one or the other habit. But how do you feed good habits? Most of us do have some bad habits. So, how do we overcome it? So, let's talk about that. There is the story of two wolves. There was this one wolf which was very happy, content, generous, kind, gentle, courteous, patient, loving, caring. You name all the positive adjectives. That was one wolf. The second wolf was arrogant, dominating, nagging, irritated, confused, frustrated, always being rude, harsh, impolite. And these two wolves were constantly fighting. This story was being told by a grandfather to his grandson. The grandson then asked the grandfather, Grandpa, can you tell me which wolf will win? The grandfather says to the grandson, well, whichever wolf you choose to feed. So, my question to you is, what are you feeding? Are you feeding good, positive, affirmative thoughts, or are you feeding bad thoughts? Whatever you choose, it'll greatly determine your future. Bad habits are easy to develop but difficult to live with. Good habits are difficult to develop but easy to live with. If you're willing to be uncomfortable for a little while, you can press past the initial pain of change, and in the long run, your life will be much better. This was said by Joel Austin. What he's trying to tell is that bad habits are very easy. Say you get up late in the morning, or you have your breakfast late. See, these are things that you need to change, okay? And in the long run, it'll benefit you. It'll be a difficult process, but over a period of time, you can learn it. And once you learn it, you will be a better person. Now, how do you overcome these bad habits? Very simple. Keep a diary for yourself and start from one day. Say you want to get up early in the morning. Now that because of lockdown, most of our sleep cycles are disturbed, and it is not good for health as well. Say you determine to get up at 7. So what you need to do is keep a diary and decide that, okay, from tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. So, and keep an incentive. Take a help of your family members, your mom or dad or your sister or brother, and tell, see that I wake up at 7. And if I don't wake up, please wake me up. And after a week, make sure that I get an incentive, say a star, something, okay? And in the exchange of those stars, you can buy something. All right, have this diary. So maybe initially you will find it difficult, but then you will get an incentive of a star, and you can exchange that star for something. For some, say you wanted a new book or a new pen, or you want to buy some stuff, say a new earphones. Okay, so at the end of the month, how many stars you collect, okay, with that, say your father says, okay, you can buy a new set of headphones. So initially you might find it difficult, okay, but focus on the goal, and over a period of time you will be able to break that bad habit, and you will be able to inculcate the good habit and you will see a change in your life. This was done as a practical for us in psychology. Initially, even me as a student, I found it difficult. Most of us in my class found it very difficult. And then our psychology teacher encouraged us to continue this practical and not to take it as a practical, but to inculcate it in our life. And she told us to do it as a year's project. That second year, whole year, we had to do this project. And at the end of the year, we were able to succeed. So, my dear students, everything that you learn like fast food, it is not 2-minute Maggie noodles that, just like that, your habits will change. No, it doesn't. It takes time. So start inculcating good habits, whatever it is. I know most of you have the habit of sleeping late. You will be on your phone all the time. Whatever habit you want to change, you can change with the way you think and with the way you practice. Okay, this is another thing. Let it go and let the supply flow. You all are familiar with this character from Frozen, Elsa. Okay, now forgiveness is a virtue, and it is very important that you learn to forgive the people who have hurt you. Okay, it's very common for all of us that if we have done any mistake, we do say sorry. But if the other person has done mistake, do we still go and say sorry? No, we don't. So it's vital that you learn to say sorry. You'll say, ma'am, but it is his fault. But what happens, the same thought will keep playing in your head. Okay, that fellow did something bad to me. He hurt me. So I'm not going to say sorry to him. And that keeps on eating up inside of you. So when you go and tell sorry, despite of the fact that you have not hurt him, what happens is he feels like, hot coal is kept on his head, and he will wonder, okay, why did my friend say sorry to me? And he'll also choose to forgive, and he'll come back and say sorry to you. Okay, so I know it is difficult, but over a period of time, if you practice forgiveness, you are also healing yourself. There was a study done not long ago in Singapore, I read in a newspaper, where there was this lady who was suffering from blood pressure. And the doctors told her that no matter how much of medication we give you, we feel that there is a psychological issue that you're dealing with. And this lady had applied for a divorce, and she never forgave her husband. And despite of the fact that the doctors, the psychologists warned her again and again that please make sure that you forgive if you want to heal yourself, otherwise the medication will not help you, she was not ready. And at a very young age, she died. So my dear students, please don't keep any bitterness inside of you. It'll just kill you. Okay, so that's why learn to say sorry and practice forgiveness, because it's the greatest virtue. This is one more thing. As students, as you all are planning to be a good businessman, or you're working in some reputed company, make sure that you don't use slang words or curse words. You know what are those words. And please, in a working setup, in a formal setup, kindly avoid using slang words. It's not good. So don't make a fool out of yourself, because using those words, you can be kicked out of the company, okay? Or in the workplace, you can be punished. So never use slang words or curse words. Again, this is grace and gratitude always take you to greater heights and make your life sweeter. See, sometimes we take little things in life for granted. Say your mother makes breakfast in the morning for you. Always say thank you. It feels good. Or say now, because of the COVID-19, there are people, essential workers who are working for us tirelessly. Say the Amazon guy, he comes and delivers some product to you putting his own life at risk. Have you ever taken the time to say thank you for him? See, when you say that, even you make him feel okay, that I am appreciated, I am accepted. I remember this one incident where just a few weeks back, this is what my friend shared with me, that she had gone to the supermarket to get her things, and she was not able to find a particular thing at the supermarket, and she asked the sales girl, can you just help me to get this particular product? And the sales girl very happily helped my friend, and she said, thank you so much, you guys are doing a great job. And the sales girl, what she said, my friend told, she will never forget, she said, most of our work is taken for granted, but thank you so much, ma'am, that you made my day by appreciating me. So that's why I'm saying thank you does play an important role, and it always comes back to you tenfold. Always have a smile. Don't have a grumpy face and wonder, okay, why things are not happening my way. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares for me. No, no, no. Don't think all that. Always smile. Even if things are bad, just laugh it out and always have a cheerful heart, because there's a saying which says a cheerful heart is a medicine for the soul and healing to the bones. So when you always are happy, you can keep even any kind of diseases away, far away. You might have seen lots of stories coming in now of people who are overcoming COVID-19. They are totally healed. So do you think that without smiling they would have healed? Yeah, medicines does help, but always having a positive attitude and laughing out about things always helps even more. Because there was a doctor who said that it is not the medicine that matters, but it is your attitude that matters when it comes to COVID-19. So if you are always cheerful and always happy, I'm sure that you can overcome any situation that you're facing in life. Always have good friendship, determine, choose your friends wisely, and always keep connected with your friends and family. As you all know, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Now that all of us are meeting up on Google Meet or on YouTube, get connected with your friends so that you can help out each other. Now that you have a lot of time to yourself, it's very important that you keep yourself updated about the latest current affairs. And as Rizwana ma'am took the first session on English, the importance of English in the present scenario, if you want to improve your language, then it's important, my dear students, that you learn to read books, read newspapers. You have online e-papers which you can read. There are even online e-books which you can read. A lot of novels, comics. If you read even the headlines, it is enough, because if only then your language skill will improve. So make sure that you read books and newspapers, journals, e-books. That's the only way you can improve your language and your vocabulary skill, which is also a life skill today. Because without English, you will not get a job in the present scenario. So make sure that you make up your time by reading books and newspapers. Focus on your goal. Now that you have joined this course, ask yourself, what is the purpose of my education? How do I see myself in the next 5 years? Now take this as an assignment, and what I want you to do is that it's not for me, but it's for you. You can write in a diary or write in your laptop using the word for just make a new folder and open a document and write. Ask yourself, what is it that I want to be? Say, if you want to be a successful businessman or you want to work as a manager, how do you see yourself? What is the purpose of my education? So what is it that I'm going to study? What is it that I will achieve? Write this down. When you have this in your mind, then definitely you will achieve your goal easily, because without a vision there is no provision. So keep that vision in your mind, and it becomes easier for you to focus on your goal, and you will definitely reach your destiny. Personal well-being. See, because of the pandemic, now we have become self-aware, and we are, making sure that we are healthy and strong. So always have good food, uh, always sleep on time. Otherwise, there are many of us who are having disturbed sleep cycles because we are used to getting up late. But then, over a period of time, it can affect you as an individual. So make sure that you take care of yourself very well. Now that you have chosen this course, after the pandemic is over and the lockdown is lifted, you will definitely come to the campus and you will come and stay in the hostel. And you might think that, okay, now that I am staying all alone, I have all the freedom and I can do whatever I want. Peter Marshall said this. Maybe think of freedom not as the right to do as we please, but as the opportunity to do what is right. There will be a lot of temptation, students, where there will be some of your friends who will say, it's okay, man, we'll bunk the class, we'll go for a movie, we'll go for shopping. But then at the end of the day, what will happen is that you will not be able to write your exam because you will lack attendance. Okay, and once you don't have enough attendance, then you will just lose a year. I don't think any one of you want that. So always make sure that whenever it's time for you to have fun, you have fun, but always know that freedom comes with responsibility. Maybe there is no one to see, but remember that only when you have freedom and you take up responsibility, only then we can call it as freedom. As students, this is one important quality that you all must practice. So if you want to see yourself as a successful person in the next 3 years, then make sure that you practice freedom with responsibility. Always respect your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your colleagues. Only then you'll be a successful person. All right? Because only when you respect others, that same respect will come back to you. There is a story where there was this lady who used to ill treat her mother-in-law very badly. And so she tells to her husband, see, I can't stand your mother, so you build a separate house for her, and I'll give her a pot in which I will feed her food. And she gives a pot, and the mother starts living separately. One day this little boy observes this, and he goes out with his dad to get some stuff, and he buys a pot. And the father asks, are you sure you want to buy this pot and you don't want to buy chocolates? He says, no, dad, I want this. And he comes back home, and then the mother asks the son, why did you buy a pot? And he says, well, when I get married and I have a child and you will be living in a separate house, then this pot is for you so that my wife can come and give you food. That time the mother realizes her mistake and she gets the mother-in-law back to the house. So only when you give respect, that respect will come back to you. Otherwise it doesn't. So always respect your elders and your teachers. Always wish them. Always have that habit of respecting people. That is a very important thing. Don't take these things very lightly, because the same thing will happen to you. There's a saying which says, as you sow, so shall you reap. So earn is respect. When you respect others, that respect will come back to you. Be yourself, don't be a copycat. See, in the slide you can see there are a lot of black umbrellas, but there is one green. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. See, all of us, will think, okay, I want that person's dress only, or I want to be like that person, or I want to be like a famous personality. Okay, but what quality you have that famous personality doesn't have? You have a unique quality which only you can give something to the world which the rest of the world cannot even understand or comprehend. So be yourself. Okay, always remember that you have a purpose in your life. Okay, see, God has made you special, God has made you unique. The DNA of one person is not the same as the DNA of your friend. So be yourself. Okay, say you are good at speaking, you are good at public speaking. Maybe your friend is not good at that, so you will make a successful career being a public speaker. The other one will be successful in being a businessman. So when you are being yourself, then only you can achieve and reach your goal. Say the famous personalities that we have, like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. All these people, if they would have thought that I'll also be like the rest of the world, I don't think we will have heard those names today. You know how Apple has made a name for itself today. So that is why, my dear students, I'm encouraging you to always be yourself and don't be a copycat. Overcome fear. Fear and faith have something in common. They both ask us to believe in something we cannot see. Now, my question is, are you saying that the rose is beautiful, or are you saying there are thorns? There is two ways to look at it. So the fear will say, I can't do it, I'm scared. Faith says, come on, you can do it. Okay, so you should differentiate whether I can or I cannot. So that way you can overcome any fear and you can achieve success. Avoid gossip. See, it's very wrong to talk about others. They will feel bad. This is one thing that you all should learn. Once you are in the campus, make sure that you don't talk about others, spread rumors. See, the next day you don't know the topic of the discussion might be you. So if you don't want that to happen, then make sure you avoid gossip. Watch your humor. See, this is one more thing. I've seen a lot of students who make fun of the others. Maybe it is funny for you, but that other person might feel bad, and you don't know what the other person is going through. Maybe he's depressed and he might even go to the extreme step of committing suicide or going into depression. You don't want that to happen, isn't it? So always watch your humor. Anything funny which all of you can laugh about, great, but don't make fun of each other. Okay, that's very important. That's why I'm saying, look at the context, look at the cultural background from where he or she comes from, and only then determine whether I can share this joke or not. But definitely no jokes about your friends or your teachers, which is very bad. And if we find such thing, there'll be consequences to your action. So make sure that you watch your humor. So I would love to end by two quotes. The words that you speak become a reality. So change the way you speak and you will see your destiny shine. So as I was talking about destined to reign in life, this is how you reign. The summary would be this, okay? So my dear students, as I end, I would love to tell you all the best is yet to come. Don't allow your life to become dull. Keep dreaming, keep hoping, keep discovering, and you will be the best that God has created you to be. So God bless you, and remember, you're greatly blessed, highly favored, and deeply loved. Thank you.
Ma'am, it was really an informative session. I'm sure students would have gained some knowledge from this session. I'm really thankful to you for engaging all of us in a such a fruitful session. Thank you, ma'am. I thank you everyone for attending the session. Thank you.
Dear students, there will be a break for 10 minutes in the session. So we'll be getting back at sharp 10:40. So kindly attend at 10:40 for the session. Students, there will be a promotional video right now. Kindly watch it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Killen.
What's your name? Now we will be announcing our best outgoing MBBS student, Miss Veena Ramachandran of 2050 batch.
When I was looking for my daughter's schools, I was so worried that how she'll be at the school. But once when we came to the Yenepoya school, I was so happy for her. She really liked the teachers and she enjoyed being with them because the teachers take good care of her like I do. She never misses me. I think the Yenepoya school is the best school in town.
It's rain. I always wonder how rain fell. Now I know. Let me tell you. Water evaporates and goes up. It cools and forms clouds. Clouds become heavy and fall as rain. Simple.
My name is Janani. I'm studying in 5th standard. I am a national level swimmer. I got 1 silver and 1 bronze in state level swimming competition. I'm thankful to Yenepoya for providing me such a opportunity.
Hi friends, my name is Wafi. I am a national level gold medalist. I am lucky to have a very good swimming pool and a very good trainer.
Sports and culture has been a part and parcel of students' life. So let's look at the PPT of sports and culture.
Hey, guess what we're doing here right now? As a medical student, we need to refer a lot of texts. Our answer? The library.
Yenepoya deemed to be university provides us with the best of academic facilities. We've got highly qualified teachers and an amazing library too. And if there's anything else that we need, we can always turn to the digital library.
Increasing to 151 beats per minute, blood pressure 106 to 83 millimeter of mercury, pulse pressure 16 to 10 millimeter of mercury, partial pressure of oxygen decreasing 90%.
When I came to Yenepoya for the first time, as like any other student, one of the priority that I had was academics, especially practicals. Now, I'm here in Yenepoya with world-class facilities. Axiom is a major step of university's vision towards providing excellence in clinical care and ethical-based student training.
At the Yenepoya Institute of Arts, Science, Commerce and Management, the syllabus is specially designed to be contemporary in order to meet the dynamic needs of the industry. The multidisciplinary courses are offered in collaboration with national and international recognized certifiers.
Don't worry, he'll be fine. Because all our department are ready to face any sort of emergency situations.
Yenepoya group of hospitals strive to give world-class facilities including dialysis, transplant and nephrology services in a most affordable way.
My name is Eric Jesse. I come from Ghana in West Africa. I was diagnosed with end-stage kidney disease in 2018. So we decided to explore for the kidney transplant. And we heard of Yenepoya. The dialysis session is very good.
We are proud to announce that Yenepoya Medical College acquired robotic surgical platform in 2016. We have completed more than 400 surgeries at the end of 2019, including urology, surgical oncology and gynecology. And I'm proud to announce that the department has done robotic renal transplant recipient surgery, first of its kind in South Canberra.
When I decided to leave Dubai and take admission in India, me and my parents were really worried about my food habits, since I'm very picky about my food. But then when we came across Yenepoya's food craft and the facilities that they provide us with, we were really happy and surprised.
Yes, exactly. From meals to snacks like pizza, burger, bread, sandwiches, truffles, pastries, and our own mineral water. Yenepoya University's food craft has it all.
If you guys were worried about the food, I was worried about the laundry. And since I never liked doing my laundry, my parents were really worried about the fact that how would I adjust here. But since Yenepoya has amazing laundry facilities from dry cleaning, laundry, washing my clothes, bed sheets and towels, me and my parents did not worry about it at all.
Happy birthday, Anjali.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Anjali.
Thank you. I'm really happy that my birthday cake is also made right here on the campus by Foodcraft, which is creamy and yummy just the way I like it. This makes my day even more better.
Hi, I'm Mohammad Asil, doing internship in Yenepoya Dental College, Mangalore. Involving academics and burning passion of football, it is very question for me. Surprisingly, I found Yenepoya deemed to be a university with such a facilities and warm-willing management. By seeing my excellence in football, the management allotted a sports quota seat in Dental College. We have got an international standard soccer ground and well-experienced coaches who have been coaching for current Santosh Trophy and former Indian football team. And it's with pride and joy I can say that currently I'm playing for Indian football team. I'm grateful to the management for making me what I am today.
Wanting to go into the medical profession, I always thought, would I be able to continue my squash game? Well, Yenepoya University offers international standards of squash courts. Now I'm able to continue my squash games.
Your mindset, it's your asset. We have with us Dr. Ramila Shekhar, mental health professional, who will be addressing on substance abuse and psychology. May now request Mrs. Sharmila to introduce the guest.
Very good morning to one and all who have gathered here. Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it. So it's my immense pleasure to welcome all one and all my dear students and the resource person of this today's program. Today I am here before you to introduce our resource person, Dr. Ramila Shekhar. Respected Madam, Dr. Ramila Shekhar, currently she is practicing child, adolescent and youth mental health professional at the Mahashanti Counseling Training and Research Center, Mangalore. Dr. Ramila Shekhar had her early education at Mangalore and then pursued her education studies at Nimans, Bangalore. She served as a professor, HOD, and was an dean in PG Department of Roshni Nilaya for about 34 years. She has conducted more than 1,000 programs for students, parents, teachers, and members of various government and corporate sectors on family life, family relationships, child mental health, healthy personality, stress management, mental health first aid, prevention of sexual harassment in different parts of Karnataka and South India. She was conferred the Best Educationist Award by the Global Society for Health and Educational Growth, New Delhi in the year 2015. She has presented a number of research papers in various local, state, national, and international conferences. She has contributed many articles and research papers in various journals and was involved with the research with University of Cornell, USA, with Flinders University, Australia. She was the co-investigator for a study titled Living with Chronic Illness with University of Melbourne, Australia, York University, United Kingdom. She has worked on many books on mental health, and she has given radio and TV programs on issues related to women, child health, and mental work. Dear Madam, it is an honor and privilege for me to welcome you on behalf of the Yenepoya Institute of Arts, Science, Commerce and Management, Yenepoya deemed to be university. It is my great pleasure to welcome you on the day 3 of Deeksharambh. So dear students, today ma'am is there to present the sessions on substance abuse and psychology. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sharmila. Can you please enable me to use my present? Can you please enable me so that... Avinash? No, I'm still not able to get that. Okay, can you all hear me at least now? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, I don't know, but I have some issues in your presentation, so I'll go ahead. It's okay. Yeah, I got it. I think so. Yes, I got it. Okay. Is it also?
Ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay. Now, I have not called this as addiction and psychology or anything, but I think one of the topics that, one of the phrases that we hear very often now is stay safe. We hear the point saying stay at home, stay safe, maintain social distance, stay safe. So I took that exactly that word and I thought stay safe from addiction, especially for our youngsters, not because you all are addicts, not because you all will run into it, but it is something that a knowledge that you should know. So my whole point was that stay safe by being away from this particular aspect. Why am I telling for you all? So the first thing that I wanted to tell is about your age students. What are the characteristics of these students? So the common characteristics of the students are, there is a tendency for us to take risks, irritated at being told what to do. You want to be rebellious, you want to experience, you want to be independent, and you want to move out of house. Okay, now these are the typical things that I think at this particular stage you would want to do. So what is it that you're actually doing now is something that is very, very important. So coming to addiction, I think all of y'all know, so I'm not going into a detail. It's nothing but a state that is bringing about dependence and tolerance because of a consumption of a chemical substance. So, and this substance is other than food. And this substance brings about physical and mental changes in the physical and mental functioning. Okay. Now, when I look at why are we talking at all? Why did your college organize this program at all for y'all? So I'm sure one at least among y'all I see a few of y'all there. So I'm sure one of you at least would have had this idea. What do the college think? Are we all going to be ethics? Why do they want to have this particular program? They could have done something else. Okay. The background of having this particular program for many students is it's not because y'all are going to be addicts. It's not because y'all are prone to be addicts, but it is simply because this is a time for trying out. Okay, trying out the adult roles. So you see somebody smoking, you see somebody taking alcohol. So you just have that in your mind. What is happening to that person? Should I try it out at all? Okay, and plus, if you look at your anatomy as such, there's going to be a lot of changes that is happening in your brain, which also creates a time for decisions and involvement, in activities that might be potentially harmful without thinking much about it. Because go back to the previous point that I said, this is a time for risky behavior. This is a time for, adventure. So it is an opportunistic time to just make a decision. So what? And most of the time, if you ask me, I've come across a lot of people, a lot of youngsters, I should say, students who have come to me and said, I thought I had a control over it. I thought I could, deal with it. I thought I could manage it. Okay. And that is why I took MAM. But right now, it is difficult for me. Okay, this is not only of youth, but it's also of the adult who tells me this, the young adults who tell me. So this is why we have connected these two terms, and not because youth is prone for adjustment or youth is prone for addiction or anything like that. Okay. Now, I want to ask you a simple question, and maybe a few of y'all can unmute yourself and tell me. Because I don't want this session to be something like a boring talk or something. So I just want you to just ask this question saying that, why do you think you go for substance? Why do youth go for substance at all? What is the reason why they go for substance? What do you think? Anybody? Any of my youngsters, please tell me.
Ma'am, actually, there is no question and answer session because students are viewing through YouTube.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Thank you. So now if I have to ask you the question, because I usually prefer this, because then I am sure at least people who are listening are with me. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to give you some of the reasons, and this is not theoretical reasons. These are reasons that my youth have given me. These are reasons that the youngsters have given me. So, and some of the reasons that the youngsters are given me is just to have fun. So what? I need to have fun. I need to have a little bit of fun. So, just give me a second. I need to have fun. Then another is, tell me, ma'am, what is another way of celebrating? Okay, I had a youngster who came and told me, ma'am, maybe you celebrated when you were young with ice creams or something, but we don't do that, ma'am. Now for us to celebrate, we must really get high. Okay, relieve boredom, which is very, very typical in this COVID-19 situations. I've had a lot of my youngsters who have come out with this saying that, to relieve burden, I started smoking. To relieve burden, I started drinking. Okay. And there are also people who feel, ma'am, I'm an introvert. I don't have guts to go up to the, stage. And that is why I started it. Okay. To relax, to socialize. Okay. To start talking to people. Again, an introvert. Or it could be just that I saw in the mass media that something happens to the person who enjoys this. So that is why I am, enjoying it. I just wanted to know what is happening. Okay. And sensation seeking. I wanted to be, I want to feel that sensation, because people tell me that when you take it, you feel fantastic. I still remember this young boy who told me that they said they feel like flying in the air. So I just wanted to know, what is that flying in the air? So, it's some of these common day to day, reasons that are there. So I'm not going into physiological, psychological and all, which I know you always switch off. But this is what I got from my youth who are talking to me. Okay. Another part of the youth is when they have problems, they tend to take such chemicals in order to forget problems. Again, I've spoken about it, reduce inhibitions. Okay, there is this particular boy who used to trouble me a lot, ma'am, in college, and I didn't have the guts. I used to feel very bad. So somebody told me, take a puff, everything will be fine. You can give him 4. Okay, maybe it's a form of rebelliousness against somebody. You are controlling me, you're telling me all this, I'll teach you a lesson. Lot starts with self-medication, and one of the common factors that I get is lack of sleep. Unfortunately, we also have across the counter, addiction that is happening a lot. Youth who don't get sleep, and it's not getting sleep because they don't get sleep, it's because of the sleep hygiene issues. So then they have this aspect where they say, I went to cross the counter of the medical counter, and I just asked them, give me something for sleep. Now without that, I can't sleep. Okay, and that's exactly what I've given you as the next point, that is availability and accessibility. Okay, that it is available for me. I know where I can get it. It is accessible to me. So why not take it? This is what my youngsters told me when I asked them what were the reasons. Okay, and also another factor that is, I am sure all of y'all will be, aware, is over sensationalizing the news stories. Okay, making the news so sensational that it brings about a lot of curiosity in the youngsters. You hear of somebody from somewhere, becoming famous, doing this, doing that. So you want to know, why did that person do that? So why not try it? So you can see here, it's a gamut of factors. It's a gamut of reasons that make this person, actually, youngster, take it into the, that particular habit as such. Okay, I'm just going to go. So what happens to the person? So you'll see, I'm not going to go into causes much because I just wanted the youngsters to tell me. Okay, so what happens to that individual? What actually, does it happen like what he says, flying in the air? Does it happen, as he says, gets a lot of courage? And I've gone back to these boys and girls and said, okay, now you thought it was this. Did it happen? He says, no, ma'am, it didn't happen. But what happened? Something else happened. So the impact of it is totally different. And I have divided the impact into 3 parts. One is immediately what happens to it. Immediately what happens to the person is the central nervous system has the effect of it. And when the central nervous system gets affected, what happens? Your attention comes down. Your observation comes down. Your judgment comes down. And this is the reason why we have a lot of accidents. Okay, your attention on the road is not there. Okay, your observation, you're not able to actually catch things. Okay, you get angry at the slightest thing that is told because you think it is something. I've had sometimes youngsters say, I saw my younger brother go that side and he had a smirk on his face. And when I look at the younger brother or the elder brother, he says, ma'am, I didn't have anything. It is this person who is mistaking me. Okay, your judgment goes off. Especially your finer grades of judgment, which causes a lot of accidents. Like, when there is a hump, you're not able to realize that when there is a hump, I need to slow down. You're not able to realize that there is a divider. Okay, so what do I do when there is a hump? What do I do when I see a person crossing the road? Now, all these things are immediate effects which we see among the youngsters. Okay. Second is effect on the emotions. Okay, that control, that management of emotions becomes lower. So there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of anxiety, There's lot of aggression. Okay, so the person gets very angry. There are a lot of fights because of that. Or the other end is also that there is absolutely no feeling in the person. Anything can happen to anybody. It doesn't care. It doesn't affect me at all. Okay. Third, decrease in psychophysiological performance. Decrease in visual accuracy. So it's not only the psychological, it's also the physiological performance comes down, which needs also your mind to work. You know, the visual accuracy, the example that I gave you, you know there is a hump, but you think it is far away. It impairs your taste. It decreases the muscular coordination. So you drop things. You're unable to walk properly. And it causes a lot of embarrassment to the individual. Now, these are the immediate effects. Okay, what happens in the long run? It doesn't stop there. In the long run, one of the most important aspects is the person's interpersonal relationship gets hampered or affected. Why? Because there's a lot of lies that go on. There's a lot of breaking of promises. There's a decrease in personal integrity and honesty. Okay, when you say owing to what happens, why does the person say lies? Why does the person break promises? Simple example that I can give you is the lies told to the home people in order to get money for that particular substance. Okay, my college has told me to get this much money. And if you don't give me as a parent, I see some means of getting it, and that could be taking money from home. So the integrity and the honesty of the person comes down. And when the integrity and honesty of the person is down, then other people do not value the relationship. So what happens? In the home, in the social surrounding, the person becomes a loner. There is a gap. There is social maladjustment. Why? Because the person involves in certain maybe activities that are not very sociably favorable. And the activities surround the chemical substance. They start losing their old friends who come to know, and they start making friends who are in the same habit. Deterioration in education and occupational performance. Naturally, the grades come down. I go back to what I spoke in the last slide. Attention comes down, concentration comes down. How can I study? Punctuality reduces because I can't get up in the morning to come to class. Absentee increases because if somewhere I know that I'm getting it, I will go. I will miss out my class. Concentration decreases. There's a lot of mismanagement of finances. My father gives me money to pay the fees, but the fees is never paid. I start looking at things to make quick money. Now, these are effects that go on for a long time. And many a times, like for example, I think some days back we had a parent who came and told me that I didn't even know that my son is on, weed. I didn't even know that because he used to pretend everything was fine. But then I started noticing some time back that the money in my purse was decreasing. The money in my purse was becoming less and less. And I thought I was being careless. I thought that I have given somebody and not bothered about it. But then I realized, no. So I started keeping account, and then I started observing, and I realized that I couldn't even believe my eyes, ma'am. That is what the mother told me. I couldn't even believe my eyes that my child could do this. I couldn't believe that my child could tell lies to me. I'm going to come back to that later also. And the teachers also told me that he was one of the very good students, ma'am. I don't know what is happening to him. I didn't want to tell in college what is happening to him. But the change is noticeable. And slowly this fellow became without any friends. And that becomes a vicious circle. I don't have anybody. I feel I'm lonely. I feel I'm worthless. I feel I'm hopeless. So I go for this because it gives me, a little bit of solace for some time. And again, it happens like that. This is what happens. Now, coming to the prolonged effects, because it's not only stops with long term, but it has, effects that are there on the personality of the individual, and that is called prolonged effects. It decreases the memory capacity of the individual. It brings about thought and perceptual disorders. The thinking goes haywire. Perception of the individual goes haywire. I talked to you about sensations. The sensations get affected. Okay, and also the person develops a dependent syndrome. Now, in some of the drugs, some of the chemicals, the person develops a physical dependence. There are tremors, there are nausea, there is pain, there are convulsions. But in some of that, there might be just a psychological dependence. So because of which people don't understand, people don't know. But that craving is there in that particular individual. And because of all this, what happens is the person becomes incapable of looking after himself or herself. And this is very, very important. And this is the stage when people start realizing, oh, something is going wrong. This is the stage when teachers start realizing something somewhere is wrong. And that is to bring back that person to that earlier days becomes a little difficult. I won't say not possible, but it becomes a little difficult. So you will see the effect of this particular, the chemical on that individual. So, but it's not only the individual who has the impact. As I just told you, most of the time I have parents coming to me and talking to me because the family goes on a roller coaster. I know all of you all love to go to the exhibitions, love to go to all these places where there are roller coasters. It is nice to sit in a roller coaster just for fun of it. But when the family itself goes into a roller coaster of emotions, of continuous fear, I don't know what is going to happen. Will he come back? Where has he gone? What trouble will he go into? I hope he doesn't create any problems again. He's not listening to me. There's a lot of embarrassment. Teachers call and fire the parents. Neighbors call and fire them. So I have to, as a mother, I have to bear everything. Even within the family, there is a lot of, the father scolds the mother saying that you are responsible. You protected the child. That's why it happened. And the mother or the other people start feeling guilty. There is a lot of anger. There is a lot of frustration. And there's a lot of shame and hurt that happens. Lot of shame and hurt to the family. The other siblings go through a lot of problems. Okay? Because everybody calls them as, oh, that fellow's brother or sister. So I know of this particular family that I'm talking. The one sibling, discontinued school because of this boy. The whole harmony, the whole peace in the house is disturbed. And the dependent becomes very unproductive. He doesn't do anything because, yes, again, I'm talking of this boy last week who came. I asked you, what do you do the whole day? And the whole family told me, nothing, ma'am. He just comes and sleeps. If he feels like coming for breakfast, he comes. If he feels, now we have just left it, ma'am. But somebody told us that we can get help. So we have come to you, but we really don't have any hopes. Just see the level of the family situation. They've come for help, but not with the hope. The whole communication gets blocked. I don't want to communicate with that person. I don't want to do anything for this person. Okay, and this person also doesn't want to communicate with her. And the whole family loses the self-esteem. Because most of the time what happens is when something like this happens, it is the family who's criticized. It's the family who is, provocated. It is the family who loses the social support. The neighbors don't care for them. The family members don't care for them. No, so nobody comes there. Nobody wants to do anything that is there. So that the impact, please remember, students, the impact is not only on you. You not only feel nice, you not only feel lonely. Ultimately you also won't like it, but it's not only you who go through. Your whole family goes through the same thing. So now that's where I want to ask the question. Is it worth it? The family feels victimized. There's a lot of negative emotions. When I started talking to the boy, he said, "Ma'am, nobody talks to me, ma'am. My mother even doesn't serve me good food now. She doesn't even bother about me." So I had to ask him a lot of questions as to, do you realize why? I know what you're feeling. I know that you're feeling miserable, that your own mother is not caring for you, but she has the love for you, but she has reached the dead end. Because when I started talking to her, she said, "Ma'am, I've tried. I tried telling him nicely. I tried, starving for him. I tried threatening him. I tried telling him I will end my life, but nothing is working. Then what do? I just left him, man." So see the amount of negativity that is there because of one particular substance that we are taking. So it's not just a substance. That's why I think I thought of this whole phrase, just stay away from this. Because, you'll have problems, students. You'll have boredom, no doubt about it. But there are many ways that we can help you to overcome those aspects rather than this. So, what is this prevention that I'm talking about? I'm talking about more in terms of enhancing your protective factors. What is your protective factors? Self-control, okay, parental monitoring, and here teachers are there, teachers monitoring, and anti-drug use policies in the schools and colleges. Okay, reduce the risk factors, because if there is an aggressive behavior already, if there is lack of parental supervision because you are outside from home, because you're being lured by gang memberships, or it could be because of social factors like availability or poverty. Now, these are factors that have to be recognized. Now, why am I giving you all this? So that you all will be able to recognize, students. Don't wait for somebody else to recognize it. And address all forms of drug abuse in the society. And remember one thing, if you are talking about preventive programs, you have to tailor make it to the characteristics of the audience. What is the age of the students? What you're going to do for a school children, what you're going to do for +2, what you're going to do for professional colleges is different from other places. What is the gender of the students? What is the background of the students? And what is the extent of drug use? Though I here am addressing commonly because I am addressing it as a stay away program for you. But if you're addressing once the individual takes the drug, then it is a different tailor-made program for each of you. What is your role? What can you do? I got this UNODC's, a simple flow chart as such, which gives me everything. So I just added this to this. Okay, apart from what I'm going to talk, because I think this makes a lot of sense. And I think this flow chart will be very useful to the teachers to move forward from this. Because my intention here is not just to give you a talk. Just because it's an orientation program of the students and there has to be an orientation program for the year, my intention is not only to come here and talk for the orientation and say bye-bye to you all. No. I sincerely request all the teachers to carry this forward. And this is a program for you all to carry it forward. Okay? You have to deal with the caregivers. You have to deal with the community. You have to bring about pro-social attitudes, internalization of pro-social attitudes, and teachers and parents. This is very important in the present time when the students, especially the youngsters, are bored. There is a fatigue because of COVID-19. Fatigue is not because of the virus, but the fatigue is because, what do I do? I'm sick of these online classes. I am tired of sitting like this at home. When will the college start? So you need to internalize the pro-social attitudes and belief. I know I can't go to college, but I can do something else. I know the classes are only in the morning. So what can I do in the afternoon? Something that I wanted to do from small. Now, this is internalization of pro-social attitudes and get them engaged in pro-social behaviors. This is my humble request to the teachers and the mentors of these students. These are first-year students. They are coming to you as raw students. So let it not end with the program. Okay, this should be the base from where we can take it. And that would really give me a lot of joy for coming and giving this particular session, not end with the session. Now, what is it that y'all as students can do for me? Okay, y'all as students, first thing I would say is stay away from any drugs. Be able to say no. Come what may be the reasons. Let it be any reasons. Let it be curiosity. Let it be peer pressure. Let the other people call you names. I've had students come and tell me this, ma'am, because how did I start? Ma'am, I started it because they called me Gandhi. So I said, so what? No, ma'am, I don't want to be known as a Gandhi. Somebody told me if I don't take a glass of beer, then I'm useless. Now, are you going to get into all these things, or are you going to be able to say no to it? Now, that is something that is there. My objective of this is reduction, delay, and prevention of addiction before it becomes habitual. And prevention programs has to be designed much, much earlier. And y'all can do a lot. If you know in your class there are students who are at risk. Now, don't go after this session and just look out and say, oh, I think you're at risk. No, that is not what I'm asking. But if you know, please lend a helping hand to them. If they have poor social skills, if they are not assertive, you see that the person is very meek. The person gives in easily. If the person is having academic issues, because academic issues, generally, I know of many people who have got into it. Because when the academic issues are there, they usually have to bear the brunt of scolding. You're useless. You can't do this. Is this your marks? Why are you coming to this college? If this is what I am going to hear every day, I want some shield over me. And one of the shield can be this. So if you know that these students are having these academic difficulties, lend a helping hand to them, students. Your teachers will do that, but even you can do that. Give a little bit of support to them. And especially I'm looking out for leaders in these groups. You become a leader not just to lead the group students. You become a leader not just to, have a fame and a name in a college saying, oh, I entered this college and I became a leader. No. You are a true leader if you can help somebody else to come out of a problem. And this is a chance for you, especially in this area, you can really be a leader. And that's what I am aiming at with this talk of mine. Okay, again, I brought this out to you. Identify the persons. If you see somebody is there, many a times I've heard many of these student leaders, I've heard many people say, oh, that is not my concern, it is his problem. His parents should have seen. Believe me, students, most of the time the parents don't even know. So early recognition can result in early intervention and early treatment. And most of the time it's only y'all as their friends, as their classmates who can recognize it. So please recognize it and take them into confidence. Just find out why is it that they're happening. Most of the time there's an underlying reason for it. I'm giving you this example. I had this boy who was having a learning issue. He was having a learning issue and he was tired of teachers always telling him that you're useless. And that is when he thought, I need something to face the teachers. I need something to face everybody. And he started taking the substance. And then he's come to a stage now where he feels that without the substance, he can't face people. So that's where you can take them into confidence. Start talking to them and start referring them to either your school counselor, your college counselors that are there. I'm happy that Yenepoya has their student welfare officers who are trained in this aspect. So either refer them to them, but in case they don't want to go to them, I think Mangalore, you have your psychiatry department of psychiatry in your own hospital, refer to them. There are professionals, there are mental health professionals there. They are not just student welfare officers or just counselors. There are mental health professionals who are trained therapeutically deal with it. If still they don't want, please refer to somebody outside. Just don't leave them. And refer them early. And motivate them to tell an adult of their choice. Just check with them. Who else are you free with? Who else are you close with? It could be a cousin of theirs. It could be an uncle of theirs. Or it could be a teacher of theirs. Just can we both go and talk to them? This is your leadership, students. Not scolding him, not telling him, if you don't leave, I'm going to go and tell somebody. No. Motivating them to take help and you being with them is something that is very, very important. Okay. Yes. And this is also a part for the teachers and your student council. You can have programs in colleges, because programs not only which are anti-drug, but programs which are aiming at the risk behavior. And that is because our education should focus on the following skills. If students possess these following skills, okay, they will not need the shield of a drug or a substance. And what are the skills? Self-control. Simple self-control is nothing but being assertive, being able to say no. Okay, emotional awareness, going back to what I am feeling. Am I feeling low? Am I feeling hurt? Am I feeling angry? Managing those emotions. How? Through effective communication, being able to talk to somebody. Peer relationships, maintaining peer relationship, which I know is very important at this stage, students, for y'all. Because your friends are everything for y'all. Adults are nobody for y'all. Okay, self-efficacy, feeling good about yourself, which is very important. I need to feel worthwhile. I need to feel that I'm good. I need to feel I'm lovable. Okay, and reinforcing anti-drug attitudes, bringing about anti-drug attitudes in the individual, and strengthening personal commitments against drug use. So I don't know, y'all could form a small group to work on this, and the small group could be given extra training, maybe from your psychiatry department itself, maybe from your student welfare officers, who could give you the extra training of how to deal with these issues, because I'm just dealing it very superficially in this 45 minutes for you. Very superficially. I'm just giving you some ideas. I'm not giving you the skills. But your department of psychiatry, your student welfare officer, your counselors can give you more skills on this, which is very, very important. And in turn, what happens is it strengthens the personal commitments of the students against drug abuse, which is very, very important for me. So I think I'm going to say this very clearly, stay aware. I'm purposely using these words because we are hearing this word so common. Stay away. Now I'm making it a stay aware. Stay aware of what? Awareness. Spread awareness on the effects of drug addiction. I gave you simple aspects of immediate effect, long-term effect, and prolonged effect. Share this, students. Let this not be just an orientation program. Oh, we have to attend the orientation program. That's why we are sitting here in front of your YouTube. That's all. Because the teachers want to know how many of us have. No. Take one thing from this and share it with somebody. Because knowledge will help to make appropriate decisions for you. Discuss this information, what you have gained, with somebody. It could be your own friends outside the college. You would be preventing. Please remember, if you are spread this awareness, you would be preventing at least one person from getting into this habit. And as I told you, especially the student leaders, the student council leaders, form a group among your peers, which will aim to educate people about drugs, which will aim to educate people about drug addiction, which will aim to educate people about its effects. I mean, I'm sure your welfare officers will give you some handouts. In case you don't, you can definitely contact us. We can give you some handouts, okay, which you can pass it on to the students, because somewhere, sometimes what happens is these students just get lured into it and they want to come out, but they don't know how to come out. They don't know where to go to come out. So can you be the guiding light for them? Okay, and be concerned and responsible. And that is where I said, I think if each of y'all today, in this new academic year, if you tell yourself that you are going to be the agent of drug usage prevention. We have heard of other agents. We have heard of drug agents. But I am asking you, each one of you who are coming into this prestigious institution, can you be the agent of drug usage prevention for me? So that you are able to work towards prevention of drug usage. You are able to help a person who might slip into drug usage. You are able to help a person who has already slipped into a drug usage. Okay, so that you can help the person to come out of it. And come out how? Come out without feeling bad. Come out without feeling shame. Come out without feeling, humiliated. Come out feeling with the strength, because the strength will help you to realize that if I am able to come out of this problem, this particular usage, it is a big strength in me. I recognize that I'm slipping into this problem. And I've been able to recognize this problem and I want to come out. It is a plus point in me. I have nothing to be ashamed. I have nothing to be, embarrassed. It is just like any other fall that I have had. I've got up and I've started walking. Now this is a fall that I had and I'm going to get up and start walking, which is very, very, very important. So I would want all of y'all to make use of this. That's why I put it in bold. Okay. Prevent drug usage. Say it loud and say it clearly. Which is very, very important. It's okay. Maybe the first time when you say this, somebody might laugh at you. Somebody might call you, oh, you are a leader and you are a teacher, you're spreading what the teachers have told you and all that. It's okay. Still say it loud, still say it clearly. And there'll be one person in that 200 group of your college people who might approach you for help because you said it loud. And that's the day that you're going to get a lot of satisfaction. I think that is my message for you, nothing else. Because I want to, be very, very clear about it that my whole aim here is not to tell you what are the different types of drugs. I don't do it at all. I'm not here to tell you what is a drug, what is the different types of drugs, what is a substance, because I feel that is unnecessarily causing a lot of curiosity in people. Okay, you want to ask, you ask me. That's another point. But my whole point is I want you to take it up very seriously and become the agent of prevention of drug usage. So my take home message for you. My take home message for you is, students, don't keep quiet after you finish this orientation session. Spread it to at least one person. Then you'll have a ripple effect. You'll have a ripple effect here. It will go from that one person to another person to another person. Talk about it. There's nothing to feel ashamed. As I requested you, this is a humble request from a mental health professional for you. Because I'm getting so many cases, and many a times the cases that we get are at a stage which takes a lot of time to get back the person. But if you become the agent of prevention, we can get back the person at a much earlier stage. Give a lot of support because they need a support. Okay, and help them to avail help. There is help, students, and especially y'all. That's why I'm continuously telling you this. Especially y'all, there is help available in your own institution, in the form of counselors, in the form of student welfare officers, in the form of a department of psychiatry. So there is help. All that you need to do is help them to take the help. And for that, they will need your hand. I want you to make up your hand, make up your mind that you will lend your hand to a person who's looking for any sort of a help. So that's from me. I'm Ramila. I'm a mental health professional. At present, practicing, as Madam Sharmila said, privately. Okay. And if any of y'all want to contact me, you can definitely contact me through this number. Okay. But for me, what would be very useful today is if you have listened to at least part of my session. If you have listened to at least a part of my session, spread the information that you have got to everyone. Okay? Determine yourself that you will say no to drugs. Determine yourself that you will look out for people who might be susceptible to drug intake. Make up your mind to lend your helping hand to those people. And all that you have to do is, I'm not asking you all to do therapy, but all that you have to do is take them to a professional and put them in touch with the professional, and then it will go. So with that, I want to say a big thank you. Thank you, students, and thank you to Yenepoya for giving me this chance of, sharing my work with y'all. That's all I have to say. I just want to share my work with y'all, and I've done that here for you. So thank you for allowing me to share, giving me an opportunity to share my work and spread a little bit of awareness on this as well. Thank you everybody. Thank you, Sharmila ma'am, because you have been the link for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for this valuable, informative sessions to our students. I hope with your inspirational and motivational words, our students will definitely move forward to the step of the future step what they want to take in their lives, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And at last, I want to thank each and everyone for getting these fruitful sessions. Thank you.
Yeah, dear students, kindly watch the wellness video, which will be posted now within 5 minutes, and later on we'll be having a session from Mr. Vinod D'Souza, sir. Thank you.
Startup Stories in association with Olook.in.
Let me tell you a little bit about my personal journey to Silicon Valley from India 22 years ago. Growing up in India, like many of you, I got my first telephone when I was 12. In my case, it turned out to be a rotary phone, so it wasn't that great for selfies, but I still loved to call my friends, play with it, and sometimes take it apart. That telephone cemented my fascination with technology. I remember in my parents' house in Chennai, reading about the invention of the transistor at Bell Labs. Of course, that initial invention helped found what became known as Silicon Valley, and out of that came companies like Fairchild Semiconductor and Intel, and all the computers and software that we all use today. You can draw a direct line from that invention to the technology that powers your Twitter feed or your WeChat messages today. A lot of times when I was younger, people would say, this person didn't get into this college or something, and that's the end of the road. I mean, life is so different from that. And so I think it's important to, keep your hopes, keep your dreams, and try to follow them. And, I think most of how life plays out is up to you, not up to what happens outside of you. And I think it's important to keep that in mind and take the long-term view. I still vividly remember as a teenager jumping onto a crowded train at Chennai and traveling for 24 hours to attend my school at IIT Kharagpur. And that opportunity changed the course of my life. You want to aim high enough that you fail, a few times. I think that's the natural part of the process. In fact, Larry used to say, if you work on really difficult things, you're better off because you have no competition. Others aren't working on that difficult a problem. And even if you fail, you end up doing something great in the process. I think, working in the real world, I would say, it is important to be well-rounded. It's important to, try different things, take some risks. I would encourage people to, follow their passions a little bit more, to follow set lanes throughout your career. Getting into an elite institution doesn't guarantee success. It matters a lot, but it doesn't guarantee success. And I think it's important to keep that perspective in life. And life is a long road, and so you want to take it at the right pace and enjoy what you're doing. I know how much hard work it takes to pursue your dream of building a business. The long hours, time away from family, the ideas are brilliant that just don't seem to catch on. I remember reading about that and thinking, it's the idea that matters. It didn't matter where you come from or what your background is. One revolutionary idea, one brilliant invention can unleash other entrepreneurs to revolutionize industries in ways you could never predict.
you going to be? I'm asking you about how you plan to live your life every day. How are you going to respond when you don't get that job you had your heart set on? For all of you who are going to be teachers, what are you going to do if the students in your class next year just don't respond to your lessons? For all of you going into business, how will you react when your boss gives you a goal that feels way too high? See, these are the moments that define us. Not the day you get the promotion, not the day you win Teacher of the Year, but the times that force you to claw and scratch and fight just to get through the day. The moments when you get knocked down and you're wondering whether it's even worth it to get back up. See, those are the times when you've got to ask yourself, who am I going to be? And I want to be clear, this isn't just some vague platitude about building character. In recent years, we've actually been seeing a growing body of research that shows that skills like resilience and conscientiousness can be just as important to your success as your test scores or even your IQ. For instance, West Point cadets who scored high on things like grit and determination were more likely to complete basic training than those who ranked high on things like class rank, SAT scores, and physical fitness. So what we're seeing is that if you're willing to dig deep, if you're willing to pick yourself up when you fall, if you're willing to work and work until your weaknesses become your strengths, then you'll develop a set of skills that you can mold and apply to any situation you encounter, any job you might have, any crisis you might confront. But you got to make that choice. And let me just share just a little secret before I end. As someone who has hired and managed hundreds of young people over the course of my career, whether it was during my time as a lawyer, as an administrator, as a university, a nonprofit manager, even now as First Lady, I have never once asked someone I was interviewing to explain a test score or a grade in a class. Never. I have never once made a hire just because someone went to an Ivy League school instead of a state school. Never. What I have looked for is what kind of person you are. Are you a hard worker? Are you reliable? Are you open to other viewpoints? Have you stepped outside of your own self-interest to serve others? Have you found a way to serve our country, whether in uniform or in your community? Again and again, I have seen that those are the qualities that I want on my team, because those are the qualities that move our businesses and schools and our entire country forward. And just understand this. Those are the qualities that you all already embody. They're the values you learned from your parents, from the communities you grew up in. And today, more than ever before, that's what the world needs.
Service to others lead to greatness. May I now request Mr. Marine to introduce Mr. Vinod D'Souza, who will be sharing the view about Roadtrack Club.
Good afternoon, one and all. I take this pleasure to welcome our resource person for today, Rotarian Vinod D'Souza. He had his early education at St. Aloysius College, Mangalore, and was the president of the student union of Besant Evening College in 1983. He was a national level bike rallyist and a state and national level union leader of the Hind Mazdoor Sabha. Rotarian Vinod D'Souza is the youth service director of Rotary Club of Mangalore for the second time. He has earlier served as chairman of Interact Committee for 2 terms and as Roadtrack Committee chairman of the club for the 3 terms. He was a Roadtractor and was a president of Roadtrack Club Mangalore Central in 1988 and zonal Roadtrack representative of Mangala Zone the following year. He has served as PTA president of St. Aloysius Primary School as well as high school, and he is working as assistant manager in production at Mangalore Chemical and Fertilizers. At present, he is the zonal coordinator of the district Roadtrack committee. On behalf of Yenepoya Institute of Arts, Science, Commerce and Management, we welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Let's start. Morgan, thank you very much. Am I audible and visible, Morgan? Morgan,
You are
can you hear
audible,
me?
sir, but your video is not on, sir.
Okay, this thing. It's coming on. It's coming on. For introduction.
These are the few activities which we had organized through Roadtrack Club in the year 2019-20. We started the Roadtrack Club of Yasin on October 11th, 2019. This was the installation ceremony. Then we had Yen Care for You. It was a visit to orphanage. Where Roadtrack students, the volunteer of Roadtrack Club, initiated this program, and then we helped the inmates to in their daily needs, and also we helped the ashram people to clean the surroundings. Students had good interaction with the inmates there. Rotarian Vinod D'Souza is with us. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Morgan. First and foremost, I apologize for the technical error of my laptop. I'm forced to do this on a small mobile. Anyhow, we'll go ahead. Thanks, Morgan, again for that wonderful introduction. Respected Principal Dr. Gopal Krishna, staff coordinators Mervin Vas, Lakshmi BM, Karen Norona, members of the staff, newly elected incoming Roadtrack President, Tasmia. I congratulate Tasmia. We look forward to working together in this coming year. And my dear fellow students, greetings and best wishes from President, board members, and members of Rotary Club of Mangalore. First and foremost, I would like to convey some good news to all of you. I'm happy to take part in this orientation program of your prestigious college. And later on, I would like to inform you all that your Roadtrack Club charter, which was started 1 year back, is already in our hands, and we are awaiting a day when we can hand it over to your college. Your Roadtrack Club, even though it's only 1 year old, has been doing excellent work under the guidance and leadership of your principal as well as staff coordinators. You are very, very lucky to have Mervin as a staff coordinator because he is himself an ex-Roadtractor and he knows in and out of Roadtrack. So he will be able to guide you throughout this coming year. Now I'll move on to what is Rotary and Roadtrack in a brief, and later on I will be brief if possible. I don't want to give a big speech as such. If possible, later on I'd like to have an interaction where I can share your doubts and clarify your doubts, whatever. Rotary International was founded on 23rd of February 1905 by Paul Harris and 3 of his friends. First Rotary Club in India was started at Calcutta on 26th of September 1919. My home club, Rotary Club of Mangalore, was founded on 26th January 1950, sponsored by the Rotary Club of Coimbatore. We have completed 70 years of fruitful service to the Society of Mangalore. The first Roadtrack Club all over the world was started on 13th of March 1968 at Charlotte, North Carolina in the United States. Roadtrack is a service club for young men and women aged 30 and above. Aged 18 and above. Till recently, 30 was the age barrier for a Roadtractor where you could cease to be a Roadtractor. But of late, we are happy to tell you that Rotary International has removed the age barrier and you can continue to be a Roadtractor. And the good news is you can have dual membership. You can be a Roadtractor as well as a Rotarian yourself. And very happy to say that incoming Rotary International President is himself a Roadtractor as well as a Rotarian. We have got one more club. The Rotary Club is for adults, Roadtrack Club is for youngsters, and for the small, even younger growing up minds, we got something called as the Interact Club, which is from 12 to 18. This is mainly for the teenagers, where our high school students can groom themselves right at the early age. Roadtrack means Rotary in action. The Roadtrack Club works side by side with the Rotary Club and gives young people opportunities for community service, leadership development, and to meet and make friends with like-minded persons. Its motto is fellowship through service. Rotary and Roadtrack is separated into various different districts, having a total of 525 districts worldwide. We are in District 3181, comprising revenue districts of Dakshina Kannada, Kodagu, Mysore, and Chamarajanagar. Presently, we are having, you can know what is the importance of Rotary and Roadtrack, what I'm going to just say. Presently, we are having 36,235 Rotary clubs worldwide with a membership of 11,86,000 members. And Roadtrack all over the world, in 176 countries, we are having 10,750 Roadtrack clubs with a membership of 2 lakhs and more. Rotary and Roadtrack has 5 different avenues of service. They are called club service, community service, international service, youth service, and vocational service. There is one director each to oversee the avenues of service. I will now brief you about the various office bearers and their duties. First and foremost, the most important is the president of the club. The president of the club has to oversee the meetings of the club. He will be in charge of the meetings. He will conduct the meetings. He will start the meeting and he will stop the meeting. Finally, he will stop the meeting, and he'll be in charge of the meeting. If he wants help, he will in turn appoint master of ceremonies to help him out. After that, we have a vice president. Vice president mainly will be a standby president. In case the president cannot attend a particular meeting due to some reason, the vice president will chair that particular meeting. And preferably, we would like to have a vice president from a junior who would automatically take over as the president for the next coming year. Then we have a secretary. The secretary is also very important. The secretary task is very important because he or she will have to maintain the minutes of the meeting and prepare the meeting. Then we got a treasurer. Treasurer is also equally important because we from Rotary do not specify any amount to be collected. It is up to your respective Roadtrack clubs to decide whether you want to have any membership fee or you want to collect some money. Once your board of directors decide, it is up to the treasurer to collect that money and keep it in a bank account to be operated by the president, secretary, or treasurer. There should be 3 signatories, and any 2 signatories will be able to operate that account. This will mainly be the duties of the treasurer to collect the money and keep it in safe. Then we have directors. Like I said, we've got different avenues of service. We've got club service director. Club service director will mainly be responsible for conducting the meetings. He or she will have to make sure that we have a guest, you have a guest speaker, or if not a guest speaker, you can have any different activities. You can have a pick and speak game, dumb charades game, Tom, Dick and Harry game, or anything. It is up to the club service director to discuss with the president and finalize the meeting. Then we have community service. Community service, we do not expect, since you're the institution-based club, we do not expect you all to do great community service outside your college. When we request community service, we mean to say whatever possible you can do in and nearby your college. You can help by cleaning your college premises, by doing Vanamotsava, by helping the poor students, by giving tuitions to poor students. There are so many avenues which we can do community service. We are not saying you can do big things where one more thing you can do is blood donation camps you can have. It is equally good. Then there is something called international service. In international service, the director will keep contact with other clubs from anywhere in the world. Now, of course, like what we are doing, the internet is wide open and you can contact anybody. You can just go on the web and find out what Roadtrack clubs. You can find out the email ID of any Roadtrack club and you can just communicate with them and keep in touch with them. Then you have got youth service. Youth service, what I am is a youth service director of my Rotary club. Youth service mainly pertains to taking care of the youth, that is between 18 and 30. And from your college level, what you all can do in youth services, you can conduct competitions for your own college students, for other Roadtrack clubs, and well as other institutions. Then we have got vocational service. Vocational service means explaining to the students and others what are the different vocations in and around our city. Lawyers, doctors, engineers. You can visit a factory. For example, I am working MCF. If at all you would like to, you can tell me and I can arrange a visit to MCF and you can see how MCF works. We from Rotary Club of Mangalore, we had gone to Karnataka Milk Federation, Kulshekar, and we had seen how the federation works. We had seen from milk how many products are possible, and we even went to see the milk collection centers in villages, how they collect milk and everything. This is called vocational service. Then one more very important avenue I can say is called Sergeant at Arms. I know you all may not be wondering what is Sergeant at Arms, but I'm sure Mervyn will tell you. Sergeant at Arms is the most important person. He or she will be in charge of the discipline and decorum of the meetings. He or she has to make sure that nobody can interrupt the president or whoever the speaker is. If at all somebody wants to send any message to the dais, he or she has to do it through the Sergeant at Arms. And even with the start of every meeting, the Sergeant at Arms, the president cannot start the meeting unless otherwise the Sergeant at Arms collars the president. There's something called as a collar, which you'll learn shortly. He has to put the collar on the president, on her or whatever, a lady or a gent. And once the collar is put, only then the president will take the gavel and start the meeting. And the sergeant has to make sure that there's no interruption in the meeting. If anybody wants any messages to be sent, he or she has to meet the sergeant, and only the sergeant can go to the dais and pass on a message. Like I said earlier, we have got many zones, and each zone, the top Rotary person is the district governor. And in Roadtrack, it is the district Roadtrack representative. Each year, RI gives a theme for that particular year. For this year, it is Rotary opens opportunities. I can definitely say Rotary opens lot of opportunities. Not only Rotary, I can say Roadtrack also opens opportunities. If at all I am able to sit or stand here, or even otherwise, if I had to come to your college, if everything was normal, and if I had been able to give you a speech, it is due to a club called Roadtrack Club Mangalore Central. Already Mervyn introduced me. I was a member of Roadtrack Club of Mangalore Central, and wherein I rose to the position of president and zonal Roadtrack representative also. This gave me the courage to talk, public speaking and everything. So I can definitely say Rotary opens opportunities. There are two types of Roadtrack clubs. They are called institution-based and community-based. Community-based clubs, we are having only one or two. Institution-based is what is your club. And all the four clubs we are having are institution-based clubs. We are having four clubs. They are SDM College of PG Studies, Canara College of PG Studies, Besant PG Institute in Commerce, and of course, Yenepoya College, Institute of Arts, Science and Commerce. The present president, Holger Nack, as I already told you, he is himself a Roadtractor and also a Rotarian. And we are happy that a Roadtractor can rise to the position of RI president. The next RI president in India is an Indian. We are very happy and proud. He is Mr. Rotarian Shekhar Mehta, who will be followed by the first woman president of Rotary International. She will be Rotarian Jennifer Jones. And I'm so happy that your college has also elected a lady as a president. I must congratulate you, because we want more ladies to participate in Roadtrack and Rotary activities. And I'm happy to say that our club, Rotary Club of Mangalore, has given 5 past governors to our Rotary district. I will just briefly touch upon what are the few advantages you can have being a Roadtractor or a Rotarian. I already told you we are having 179 nations where we are having Roadtrack clubs. Being a Roadtractor, if you are a Roadtrack member, you can walk into any Rotary or Roadtrack meeting in any part of the world. You can introduce yourself by saying, hello, I'm Roadtractor Vinod D'Souza from Roadtrack Club of Mangalore. They will welcome you. They'll make you this thing. They'll give you a rose and they'll say, we welcome so and so. They'll be very happy to have you. And always remember, it is always good to keep interconnections. And like I already said, your college is a wonderful college, having a lot of associations and clubs. And throughout the year, all the students are very active. But there is, I am not saying it's a problem, but usually what happens is all your association and clubs are in your college level. You do not say outside your college. It is better from Rotary and Roadtrack, you have connections internationally, not only nationally, throughout the club, throughout the district, nationally, and this is the main advantage of Roadtrack. You can meet anybody and everywhere and meet like-minded persons. I don't know whether you all have heard of polio or pulse polio. Polio was just like we are experiencing a pandemic now, polio was a very, very bad pandemic affecting during my school days, where children were lame and could not walk. I had a poor classmate who had to be carried to class. But thanks to Rotary International, today I can proudly say that almost all parts of the world except for Nigeria and Pakistan are polio free. This is due to the foresight the Rotarians had when many years back, when Rotary Club came forward and said, we are going to make this world polio free. WHO and other people laughed at Rotary. They said it is impossible. But today we are on the verge of declaring the world Rotary free. India is polio free. You can happily say India is polio free. And I don't think I can say you have the bad fortune of seeing any polio person anymore in Mangalore, Dakshin Kannada or India. I would like to just touch upon 2 small things to show you the power of Rotary. Many years back, if you all know, there was some strife in Jaffna and Sri Lanka. We had a Rotary International president by the name of KP Ravindran, who is a big industrialist, and he was having a factory in Jaffna. When the war started, many of the Sri Lankans, without knowing what to do, they ran into Ravindran's factory and they went inside. The army came to Ravindran's gate and they asked him to open the gate. Ravindran went to the gate and said, you are going to open the gate over my dead body. Only if you shoot me, you can go. The army commander called the president or prime minister of Sri Lanka and they got a reply, please don't touch that person. He is greater than us. If we are dead tomorrow, nothing will happen. If KP Ravindran is killed by the army, Sri Lanka is gone. You can imagine the strength of Rotary International. If president of the Sri Lanka has to tell, please don't touch KP Ravindran, you can imagine what Rotary is. One more thing, the importance the world gives to Rotary and to Pulse Polio is, of the intense Afghanistan war even now going on. But every year when the Pulse Polio campaign, surprisingly, including the terrorists and the National Army, they give a ceasefire. They allow Rotary volunteers to move freely all over Afghanistan and give Pulse Polio vaccines to all the children. Luckily, due to that, as of today, even Afghanistan has become polio free, but only 2 places still, Pakistan and Nigeria, still continue, but almost only a few cases. We are hoping that within another span of time, the world will be declared polio free. About Roadtrack, I would like to tell you 2 more true life incidences which have happened with my friends and my colleagues. Once, some students from Bangalore, they went to North Karnataka for a study program. In Bidar or some places, there were heavy floods. These people's tempo traveler, they caught was flooded. They could not do anything. Their luggage was in the tempo traveler, but anyhow, they managed to come out. They went to a nearby hill and they rang up our district road track representative called Yatish Baikampadi. He rang up the road tractors from that area. The road tractors from that area came there in 2 vehicles, 2 mini tempo travels, took the road tractors to their houses, made them stay in their houses, made them wait till the flood subsided. And after the flood subsided, they themselves went to the tempo, got their luggage, and then sent them back to Mangalore. This is what Roadtrack can do for you. One more thing, my good friend Yatish Vaikampadi had been to Calcutta for some DRR training program when he was the DRR himself. His train was scheduled to be at 10:30. 10:30, he and another friend of mine came to the railway station and they kept the luggage at about 10:15 in the train and went out to have a tea. They did not know that the train timing had been changed. They had thought that the train timing was later on 11:30, but without their knowledge, when they came back, the train had already left. They were left high and dry, no luggage, nothing, a little bit of money in the pockets. Then they rang up the road tractors from Calcutta. They came again, they took them to their houses, they made them wait, they bought them the next day flight tickets from Calcutta to Bangalore, and they took them and they went to Bangalore, they collected the luggage from the train and came back to Bangalore. This is what I have to say. Now I leave it to Mervyn. I do not know, Mervyn, how you're going to follow up with the question and answer session, whatever. This is a little bit what I have to say. Hopefully, I'll have the chance to meet you all in the near future. Thank you. Thank you, Mervyn, and thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful session. Now we'll be playing a presentation about our programs which we held in the last year. So please stay with us, sir, till the presentation gets over.
Definitely.
This was an event, Campus Bus, which was organized by Namma TV in the Yenepoya Institute of Arts, Science, Commerce and Management. Roadtrack Club organized the Independence Day with Soldier and also a virtual music concert on the occasion of Independence Day. So this was a clipping which was the announcement made in the Rotary Club of Mangalore regards to this event.
The songs and all can't get heard. So we should be quiet.
Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. I'm sure that students are well aware about the services rendered by Roadtrack. Students, as we come to the end of today's session, we learned about the importance of language, always having a winner mentality, being proactive in sports and cultural activities, and rendering selfless services to the society around us. This in turn will help us shape into better individuals. Thank you, students, for joining today's session. Have a nice day. The next session is scheduled on Monday at 9 a.m. You can refer the YouTube link, which is already sent to you by mail. Thank you.